Hi guys, this is Leslie Cooprider, owner of liftbyles.com, and this is Wake Up Wednesday on Fit Talk with Coach Luis.
Welcome to Fit Talk with Coach Luis. If you're serious about getting fit, then this is your show. This is a podcast where fitness enthusiasts share all the ups and downs, the challenges, and the victories on their fitness journey. Now, here's your host, Coach Luis.
All right, guys, so welcome to another edition of Fit Talk with Coach Luis. And as you heard, my good friend Leslie Cooprider is on the show with us too. And we're going to talk about our quick little Wake Up Wednesday. And today we're talking about if you want to change your life, change your environment.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, so I saw this on Instagram last week, and then a Forbes career coach actually had this whole article written out, and I thought it was great. It was super, super quick read, so I thought this would be a great Wake Up Wednesday. So essentially the gist of change your environment, change your life comes down to a couple of things. It comes down to who you hang out with and what you're physically surrounded by. And this is something that I've experienced in my personal life, and I'm sure that you guys at some point have also experienced it, but maybe you didn't have the words to describe it. So the first one is who you're hanging out with. And when you're thinking about your friends and even some of your family members, you want to think about how do they make you feel, and how are those people doing in life in general? Because, generally if people are successful around you, whether that's in their jobs, on their, weight loss journey, or if they're just an all around happy person, generally if you start hanging out with those people, you're going to start to become the average of all of them. So if you pick 5 people in your life and they're all happy, successful, and fit, then kind of by default, you're going to end up happy, successful, and fit. Mm-hmm. So, kind of the opposite is also true where, if you have a lot of negative people in your life, if you have people that do drugs, if you have people that don't exercise, if you have people that just work hourly wage jobs, then naturally you're going to become the average of those people as well. And you're going to end up in an hourly job on drugs and not fit. Mm-hmm. Yep. Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely is. Yeah. And yeah, I was thinking about a little bit of that, even like with things in people that like complain about the situation they're in, that they just talk about it, but they don't do anything about it. They're never going to change their environment because they're not changing anything. So their life will never change. So that was another little tidbit I got out of that one.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, and a lot of times, the people, if misery loves company too. So if you're around people that, complain all the time, or they don't want to change their situation, they just want to, be miserable about it, then naturally, like, you're going to be miserable too. Cause that energy is just always around you. And it's hard to continue to be happy when, the other 4 or 5 people around you are just, woe is me 24/7. So, yeah.
Absolutely. That was good. Really good tips there. And even other ones like, like we said, even like with work, if your environment, if work, you're trying to change that, like you said, just start making those positive changes to where you can be happy with what you're doing. If you want that ability to grow or something like that, let someone know, let your leadership know, let them know that you want to change what you're doing so that you can actually change your overall environment.
Well, absolutely. And actually that's kind of the second point that she makes throughout the article too, was, where, what you're physically surrounded by. And for a lot of us, it's, this is where we would spend most of our time, like the home, an office. If you work in an office, this could be the gym. It could be, if you're on the road a lot, it could even be your vehicle. Or it could just be a regular hangout spot. Like say like for me, it's a favorite bar that I like to go to, because for me, I like the atmosphere, but you also want to kind of take note, same way with, how people make you feel, it's how these places make you feel too. Or when you're at home, does your home feel like a home? Does it feel like the home that you want? Even if you're in just a little like apartment, you can still make it home.
Absolutely.
If you're in an office and you have a cube, does it feel like it's yours? Are you, how are the other people in the office? Like, is the office like super clinical, or are they kind of, can you personalize your cube a little bit so it doesn't feel so drab? Like a lot of us, we're hitting the gym. So like, are you intimidated when you walk in the gym? Are people generally friendly? Are they not generally friendly? How does the gym, take care of itself? Is it clean? And like, we don't realize it, but like these little things, they add up so much and they take a toll on us, which is why it's so important to, not only take note of the people in your life, but also to take note of where you're also spending your most time and what you're physically surrounded by, because that makes a huge difference as well.
It definitely does. Yeah, I love that point about even we're so much at work that it's so important to make it your own. Make it tasteful. That way you feel more at ease, more at home, like it's your own thing. I really like that point too. That's really good.
Yeah.
So excellent. Yeah, I think these are really good points that people can listen to. And if you're listening to this on this Wednesday morning, just this is a good little challenge to have, is write down 5 things that you want to change in your life, and then write 5 other things that you can work on to make those changes in your life. There you go.
Absolutely. And also 3 things that you're grateful for, because that also will help you kind of look at life a little bit differently. That was always one thing that we always did as kids. Is we always wrote down 3 things we were grateful for every day.
Yeah, that's so true. We always got to be grateful about something. So
yeah.
Perfect. I like that. I love it. Well, awesome. Well, thank you, Leslie, for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me again. This is always so much fun.
Absolutely. Well, guys, tune in next week for another Wake Up Wednesday. See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out Fit Talk with Coach Luis. Remember to follow us on social media, on Instagram at Live2Progress, and on Twitter at Live2Progress. Stay tuned for more episodes of Fit Talk with Coach Luis coming soon. And remember, always live to progress.